Okay, Tim G in Texas. Got your 2970 N2 here. Fixing to get started on that. And you wanted a video of me doing it, so here's the beginning. I'm going to hook it up, test it, make sure everything still works okay. I didn't see any damage. Of course, the little radio looks kind of rough. Probably been in a mobile installation. But I'm about to begin. All right, more to come. Okay, I got a 250 watt slug in the RMS side, or average, and a 500 watt slug in the peak side. So we'll be reading on the top scale on the meter on the left, and the middle scale on the meter on the right. Now, I haven't done anything to the radio. This is just a test. I'm in AM. So we're dead keying probably about 52 watts. Audio. Swinging to about, what is that? About 250. Okay, which is pretty good. I think we can do better. Here is lower side. Audio. That's pretty good. That's about 350 watts peak, so on lower sideband. So yeah, we probably can't improve on that much without changing a whole bunch of finals and crap like that. Okay, all right. Now I'm gonna check the receiver. And there's the signal on AM, which is good. Let's go to the lower side. There's the signal on lower side, which is also good. Okay. Alright, let's turn that off and see what kind of noise we have on here. This is on the upper side. I am in the dummy load. There's where the volume is. And it is really early in the morning. It's about 3 in the morning. On Saturday. Yeah. Okay, well, can't pick up anybody. Let's try 38 real quick. Lower sideband. Nothing. Alright, but anyway, you know what the radio sounds like. That's on sideband. That's upper side. And that's AM. AM's pretty quiet. Looks like all your controls were turned all the way down. Okay, time to get busy. Okay, got her cracked open. Looks pretty good in here. Got a little bit of water seepage or something right here around the front. other than that, don't look too bad. There's some, not sure what that is back over there in the corner. I'll spray that off. Spray it down with like some WD-40 or something and wipe it down just to make sure it doesn't corrode. Okay. Alright, time to get started. Okay. Here's the inside of the radio. Looks pretty good. I'm about to get started on it. Time is now? It's 3:30 in the morning. Saturday what's today? Saturday the 20th. Okay. Alright, more to come. Okay, as you can see, I got most of that crap off of there. Not really sure what it was, but you don't want to leave it on there. It hadn't started any corrosion yet that I could see, but like I said, I didn't want to leave it on there. I hit it with some deoxit, this stuff here, just to be sure. Okay, got the shield out of the way. This guy here, so I can get to this filter. I've started on the Lescom enhancements. Got both the old caps out, and they were the old blue ones, so it's a good thing we're replacing them. Okay, and then see that tiny little guy right there? I'll be replacing him too. Okay, got the shield off of it. Getting ready to replace this guy with a 20 kilohertz wide filter. That's one that's got the yellow dot to the red one. The yellow dot is 20 kilohertz wide, the red is 15. And I'm getting ready to replace this little guy right there. Just have to point with it, hang on. This transistor right here. These little guys are tiny, tiny, tiny. And a real pain to replace, but fortunately I was in micromin repair in the Navy, and you guys that were in the Navy, y'all know what that is. So I've got the tools and stuff to do it with. Okay, got the old capacitors out, and it's a good thing too because they are the blue ones, so they needed to be replaced. Okay, more to come. Okay, all done in here. Got the new 20 kilohertz wide filter installed. Got the new transistor installed. I'm getting ready to put the cover back on it. Okay, got the upgraded caps in place. Got the shield soldered back together, back in place. Got the clarifier mod done, and I'm getting ready to start on the heavy stuff. Got your CP1 installed, and you know the hot glue is to keep the wires from bouncing around and breaking. That's to make sure that nothing moves. Okay, all done. As requested, both the Lescom RCI noise filter and the high cut filter are wired on constantly, and of course the CP1 is always wired on constantly. You can't put a switch in that. You can, but wow, what a bunch of work that would be. Anyway, there you go. And like I said, it's wired on full time. Let me put it back together and we'll do some checks. Alright, I was putting it back together, and to check it out, and I noticed it was on 24. Okay, let's change that to 27, and then let's change this one to 2. Change that one to 5. Okay. I can change modes and everything. But watch out what happens when I turn the radio off and then back on. It comes back up in 24. Now these are not supposed to do that. The CPUs that are in these are memory retentive. They don't have to have a battery. So it's acting like the battery died, but there's no battery in it. I think we have a shorted cap somewhere in the CPU area of the radio. So I'm going to pull that apart and see if I can figure that out. Isn't this fun? I've got a new display, new CPU board. I'm going to plug that in and try that and see how we do. Okay, I got your CPU board disconnected. I did not pry the battery off the two-sided tape up there. I just left it connected, and I hooked this new board up on here, and as you can see, it came up on 27205. So there's a problem with your CPU board. I will look at it and see if I can figure it out and try to save you from having to replace it, but it might be what we have to do. We may have to replace it. I think it's like $75 for one of these. But I think it's one of these two guys here that have shorted out. I'm going to check them out real quick. All right, I'll be back. Okay, I said battery before, but this is not a battery. It's the buzzer. It's the thing that makes the beep when you push the buttons and stuff. Not a battery. Okay, it does. This radio doesn't have a battery in it for the CPU. It doesn't need it. Okay, someone has been here before. Look at that. And that. Okay, I got the two caps out. They were 220 at 10 volt. Getting ready to replace them. And also I noticed on one of the connectors, this one, that's a soldering iron melt. But that wire is not supposed to be there, but I don't understand what they were doing up in there with a soldering iron. Probably replacing this. That's about the spot for it. Looks like there was a whole bunch of things replaced on this board. Are you getting that? Yeah, okay. So they either went in and replaced some components or had to resolder them, touch them up or whatever. But you can definitely tell someone's worked on this board before. And they probably did that with it still in the radio. I'm not real sure what that, okay, that is a resistor. Alright, well, I'm going to replace the caps. Actually, both caps check good. So that's not good for this. It means that something else is going on here. So I'm going to double check their work, their solder job on these parts, and make sure that everything is making good connection. That's about all I can do. The next thing would be to replace that microchip, and without having the correct program to reprogram it, that would be a waste of time. It'd be cheaper to just replace the whole thing. Okay, I had some 16 volt 220s, So I'll put 16 volt 220s back in there rather than putting the 10s back in there. Alright, I've touched up all the solder connections that they messed with, and compared this board. So you can see there's a couple of parts missing off of it. I compared it with this board, and this one is missing the same things. I also compared what they soldered to the new board, and they're all the same. So same values and everything. Okay, I'm gonna hook it back up and see if it worked. Okay, even after doing all that, it's still coming up with 24. So something's wrong with your CPU board. And I've got this. Okay, so with a new CPU board, it doesn't do that. So I'm going to send you this part of the video and ask you what you want me to do. Now, the things I did don't have anything to do with the CPU or its functions. I know it happened while it was here, but it had nothing to do with what I did. I worked on the clarifier, the IF filters, the DC input filter, the voltage regulator filter, installed the less-com noise filter, and the CP1. None of that has anything to do with the CPU or the CPU circuits. Yes, it went bad while it was here, but it was not my fault. So, sorry, but I'm not going to be responsible for that. But I will sell you the new CPU board at cost and put it in for free. But I need an answer pretty quick. Okay. And I didn't notice the tone before. This tone. Turn it back on. If I can. Oh, might help if I turn on the main power supply. Yeah. Because the speaker wasn't hooked up. Okay, the speaker's hooked up now, and that's why you're hearing that high-pitched tone. That's about 22, about 2,000 hertz. So definitely coming from the CPU board. Okay, got the new CPU installed, and look at there, and no tone. So this guy here is definitely bad. I'm going to send it back to you because I have no use for it. So I'll stick that in the box with the radio. Okay. Let me put the face and knobs and all that stuff back on it. But you can already hear, you know, so be right back. Alright, got it all put back together, all the knobs back on it. I even reinstalled your mic holder for you over there. Comes up right on channel just like it's supposed to. Okay. Again, everything's up. Noise blanker A&L is not turned on. There's noise blanker A&L. See how much quieter that is? Isn't that nice? It even works on the FM. See, now you can listen to that instead of that damn frying noise you hear all the time. Let's see, let's move this to right there. There's channel 19. See if I can find somebody. Yeah, you won't mind listening to this. Let's see what we got on channel 38. Well, you know what? I'm not connected to the outside antenna. Hang on a minute. Okay, got it all back together. Let's do some checks here and see if we improved like the output power and stuff with our tune-up and modification. We are on the lower side band, or lower side of channel 38. Mic gain power's all the way up. On the middle scale on the peak meter, which is the meter on the right. I am on the top scale for the average meter, the RMS meter, which is the meter on the left. The meter on the left has a 250 watt slug in it. The meter on the right, the peak meter, has a 500 watt slug. That's why we're reading on the center scale. Now before, we were getting about 250, 300 watts peak. Audio. Yeah, I think the tune-up helped a little bit, don't you? That 20 on the average meter is 200 watts. Audio. So we're doing about 225 with swing. What are we dead keying? Can't dead key on sideband. What am I thinking? Audio, hello, audio. Little over 400 it says on peak. Alright, let's go to AM. Channel 20. And we're dead keying a little over 50 watts, probably about 60 watts or so. Audio, hello, hello, audio, audio, 1 2 1 2, audio. And we're getting about 400 watts peak out of it. Okay. FM, didn't change FM. Still keying about 60 watts on FM. Okay. That's why we put the yellow dot filter in the 10.7 IF train. The yellow dot is 20 kilohertz wide. FM, of course, you know, is frequency modulation, which means it moves the frequency around as you talk. So that's why we want the 20 kilohertz wide filter on there. Now, if your radio doesn't have FM, then I usually try to put a 15 kilohertz wide filter in there. And those filters are only good for AM. They don't do anything for sideband, okay? It's only in the AM receive train. Chain of IF. The IF chain for AM and FM are the only thing that those are in, okay? Alrighty. I think we improved on that. It makes it so much easier to listen to. But anyway, like I said, I think you're going to want to be able to switch these. And I did set it up so that it would be kind of easy to add a switch. The white wire goes to the high cut, and the gray wire goes to the Lesscom RCI noise filter. Okay, and all you got to do is interrupt that wire and put a switch in line with that wire, and you can switch them on and off. So you decide you want to do that, that's what you have to do. And if you decide you want to disconnect one, just unplug that little loop, and that one is off. Okay. All right. Well, Tim, I sure hope you enjoy the modifications. It was my pleasure to set it up for you. 7-3, everybody.